Hey everyone, welcome back. Mark with Mark LaFont Fishing. So this is Tuesday. I finished up the Denny Friedrich Memorial Tournament on Sunday. It was held up on Lake Chetek in Birchwood, Wisconsin. And since I didn't do an intro or an outro to the video, I thought I'd give you a recap of how I was catching them and where I was catching them. So in the morning, I just planned to go to the bay that you have seen in the other video of our Lake Chetek tournament with Easton and I. And I thought I would just try throwing the chatterbait around there. I didn't have much going for my pre-fishing day that I had up there, so I thought I'd rely on some old stuff. So I got there and right away I caught a nice one on the jackhammer chatterbait. It's the Beehide Delight color, 3/8 ounce, and it's got a Gary Yakamoto Zenko on the back of it for a trailer. So I caught that one right away. It was like just over 2 pounds. I thought I'm gonna have a good day. Well, it was a grind the rest of the day. I mean, an absolute grind. After I went to this spot, I threw around this chatterbait a lot, another swim jig. I tried flipping some of the deeper grass there. And I was catching fish on the chatterbait, just nothing big enough. So after I did that for a while, flipped, tried a bunch of different things, I went and tried my second spot, which was a spot with pads and some actually matted up grass that had been turned up from engines and boat traffic, and it floated up and the wind pushed it against the lily pads. And I did catch a few of them just flipping into the pads, but when I flipped into where the grass had matted up on top of the pads, that seemed to be where I was catching my bigger fish and more fish. I was flipping a 4-inch Berkeley Pit Boss. This was a green pumpkin color, and I had a pegged weight on there, a 3/8 ounce Woo tungsten on there. And then I was taking and I dipped I dyed the flappers here in an orange. I just thought that gives it a little something to stand out with, a little more scent too, I guess. And I flipped that on braid. The water up there is pretty clear, but when I was in all that weeds and the pads, I didn't want to use fluorocarbon. This braid, when you set the hook, it zips right through all that and cuts it. So I went there and I caught some fish, and I caught one keeper out of there. And really, those are the only 2 spots that I had that produced any fish. I did try a few other ones. So after I flipped and I caught a fish, picked up one more keeper, so I had 2 in the boat now. I went and I tried some other places. I didn't catch any fish, so I went back to the bay where I started and started throwing the chatterbait again, and picked up another keeper, caught some more smaller ones, another keeper. And what I found there is I'm pretty sure the first keeper that I caught there came off the same spot. There's a rock, it's all weeds around, and then there was a spot with some rocks on it. And I didn't know it until I was trolling through it later, and in shallower water. But I believe that's where both fish came off, was just that hard bottom surrounded by weeds. So yeah, I picked up another one there when I went back the second time. So then I had 3 in, cast it around a bunch after I caught that other one. Still nothing big enough. A lot of fish, but a lot of shorts. So after that, I'm like, well, I'm gonna go try this other spot again because it does get a little better in the afternoon. So I went back to where I was flipping before. You'll see on the video, I flip in there. And that was another case where I flipped in where the grass was matted on top of the water by the lily pads, and it got pushed up and it created a little mat there. Flipped in there, and then I caught my biggest fish of the day, which was I think just over 2.5 pounds. I'm not quite sure, but that was on the same Berkeley Pit Boss with the Woo tungsten 3/8 ounce flipping head. And after that, it was getting to be pretty late, and I went and fished some other stuff with no luck, and it was getting to be, I had to weigh in at 2:30, and finally at 2:05 I was fishing a bank that just thought it looked good or whatever, and I seen a lay down, and I picked this back up. I was throwing a jig, a Ned rig down the bank with no luck, and I picked this up and I threw in the lay down, and I was able to hook up with my 5th keeper of the day, which was just over 14 inches. And I was joking with the guy that was fishing next to me. He was a pretty good stick. And I said, yeah, I got 5, but they're all pretty small. Pretty embarrassing bringing this one in. And he goes, hey, you might be doing okay. I only got 3. So after that, I'm like, well, I guess it was a grind for everybody, not just me. So I ended up the tournament, out of 45 boats, I ended up in 8th place, which was my 5 fish came in for 10.05 pounds, I believe. And I didn't catch my last one until 25 minutes to the end of the day till weigh-in. I talked to another guy at weigh-in, and he said he caught his he had one fish at like 2 o'clock or something like that, or two fish, and he went a place he's never fished and stuck a 17-incher and two more fish or something like that, and got his limit and ended up finishing second. So it just kind of goes to show, you know, always fish till the right to the end if you need to. And, you know, you can always fill out a limit if you just fish, grind it out, flip, cast. So anyway, yeah, that was just a little recap of how the day went. It was a grind. And I was pretty happy, I guess, just to finish with 5 fish. That seemed to be like a win on a day. Out of I don't know if I told you this, but out of 45 boats, only 10 of us brought in the 5 fish limit. So yeah, thanks, and hope you enjoy the video. Another dink. Was a big old dogfish. Need some bigger ones. Number 3, another little one. Dogfish. Pretty sad. Well, at least I got 5. What's that? Might be alright. I only got 3. Oh. They're not very big though.